How's it going, everyone? My name is Maximilian, and the battle between the World Warrior and the Iron Fist is about to begin. Last time, we compared the similarities of Street Fighter Cross Tekken to both Street Fighter and Tekken games of the past, and had a thorough discussion of the gameplay mechanics in Street Fighter Cross Tekken with a breakdown of how effectively you need to use meter. But nothing will prepare you for what's in store today. You're watching Episode 3 of Crossover. Today, we'll be looking at one of the most unusual aspects ever in a fighting game. You guessed it, it's Pandora mode. After that, we'll cover one of the most controversial aspects of Street Fighter Cross Tekken since it was released, the gem system. Be sure to stick around, everyone, because things are about to get interesting.
Pandora mode can easily be compared to comeback mechanic system features from previous Capcom fighting games, including X Factor in Marvel vs. Capcom 3 and Ultra Combos in Street Fighter 4. And while the activation parameters behind Pandora mode can be fairly similar to previous games, it's very different. And tactically applying it during a real match can be much more difficult. There's only a single activation requirement behind Pandora mode, and it's that your point character needs to be below 25% health. And if that's the case, you'll press down, down, and then medium punch with medium kick. Pandora will sacrifice your point character with low health, and will bring in a boosted version of your second character. Besides looking evil and glowing purple, Pandora will grant you infinite meter and around a 10 to 15% damage boost. But don't be too shocked into thinking this is a comeback mechanic just yet. Pandora can better be summarized as a last-ditch effort and not a comeback mechanic. In fact, for now it seems that Pandora's only real tactical application is in the middle of combos, and we're gonna find out why. While having a damage increase and infinite meter can be very helpful, Pandora will only last you 8 seconds, and the 8 seconds might actually be shorter than you think. In Street Fighter Cross Tekken, activating Pandora will eat about 4 to 5 seconds off the clock. Time will not pause when activating Pandora or Super Arts in this game. If you happen to activate Pandora prior to the 12-second mark on the timer, there's a good chance you can use it without ever using it. And depending on the character, many Super Arts can be long and cinematic, which means in many situations, time is going to run out or you'll run out of your 8 seconds available for Pandora mode. This is very critical, because once Pandora mode expires, the victory will go to your opponent. So applying this system mechanic and actually making it useful in a match is going to take some strategy. Pandora can also only be activated if your character is neutral. That's right, you can't cancel it from specials or normals. And this is where some of the team synergy in Street Fighter Cross Tekken comes into play. Select characters that have ground bounces and wall bounces can be very useful for setting up a Pandora combo. As a couple of brief examples, Ryu's EX Donkey Kick will send your opponent flying into the corner bouncing off the wall. Ryu will remain neutral long enough for you to activate Pandora and bring in your next character. Since you have infinite meter, activate their super accordingly, and you just might be able to KO your opponent with this extra damage. We'll use Kazuya's Light Slaughter Hook as an example of a ground bounce. Activate Pandora after in the same fashion, and depending on your character, try for an extended combo that leads into their super art. But because Pandora combos can be placed at the end of longer combo strings, the damage scaling from the Pandora super can be pretty heavy. But there are ways in Street Fighter Cross Tekken to get even more damage out of these combos and Pandora mode. And this is where the gem system comes into effect. But it's not as severe as you might think.
Using gems in Street Fighter Cross Tekken are more designed to complement your character choice and playstyle. But there are some that are designed specifically for unique strategies, and others to help out new players. So let's dive into the gem system and see how it complements your playstyle in Street Fighter Cross Tekken.
Each character in Street Fighter Cross Tekken are given 3 gems that they can use at any time. You can customize these gems with 5 different loadouts per character as well. But there's only 2 categories of gems to choose from, and that's boost gems and assist gems. Boost gems are generally designed to give you a small percentage increase in either power, speed, defense, or meter gain. While assist gems are more designed to help out newer players against higher level tactics in Street Fighter Cross Tekken. But let's break each one of these down, so you have a better understanding of what type of gem loadout you should be running for each character. Red power gems will give you about a 10 to 25% damage increase, and are generally activated through using offensive attacks. An example of some of these attacks are engaging a cross rush, having your attack blocked 5 times, and landing a launcher. So if your team is composed of characters that have heavy combo abilities, or use the cross rush in some bread and butter combos, it might be a good idea to equip some power gems per character. There's another that gives you about 30% damage output entering Pandora, so for those of you that have designed a unique Pandora mode combo, this could be an excellent method for developing a strategy around using this gem. The yellow defense gems also give fairly similar stat increases. For the most part, defensive gems are activated by blocking attacks or getting hit by normals or specials. If you play Keep Away, or characters that have naturally high health, equipping defensive gems will keep them alive much longer. Speed gems are activated through a variety of offensive and defensive means. For the most part, they'll be increasing that character's movement speed by about 10 to 15%. But this percentage increase does not apply to making special or normal moves any faster. It only affects your character's walk and jump speed. But by increasing the speed of your ground game, it can make you a more effective ground fighter at applying footsies. It also allows other characters that have floaty jumps to fall faster to the ground, and gives those with short jump arcs a very difficult to punish leaping attack. There's also a few gems that'll directly increase your vitality immediately or gradually if you're hit by 2 special moves. But next up are some of the most effective gems I've found in Street Fighter Cross Tekken, and it's those that'll build you a greater amount of super meter. Blue gems can increase your meter game by 20 to 40%, and decrease the cost of using meter by about 10 to 15%. Blue gems act fairly similar to prior gems, and they'll only last about 10 to 20 seconds. But as we discussed in the previous episode, meter gain and using meter in Street Fighter Cross Tekken is very important. Meter leads to damage, getting your characters swapped out in a hurry, and applying mix-ups and pressure. By equipping 3 meter gems, you can find yourself gaining meter at a rapid rate, and forcefully applying pressure through 1 meter eating switches and damaging combos can lead you to a victory. This is especially applicable towards characters that have long block strings or combo strings. There's a good chance that you can build enough meter while performing a combo to execute another part of a combo. But next up we have some of the more controversial elements of the gem system, which are the assist gems. Assist gems don't require activation and they'll last the entirety of the match. But as we were saying, they're mostly designed to help newer players. The easy input, super easy input, and cancel assist gems are in the game to help players execute special moves at the cost of attack power. But the couple that were causing the most controversy was the auto block and auto tech throw gem. For the most part, the auto block gem will block for you automatically if you're not blocking from a neutral state. If you already happen to be blocking, the gem will not go into effect, and if you throw out any special or normal moves while being attacked, the auto block gem won't work. But what it is useful for is mix-ups. If you're eating a nasty cross-up and you're blocking in one direction, the auto block will actually kick in if you end up getting hit in this situation. But what's dangerous about using the auto block gem is that every time it goes into effect and auto blocks for you, it eats 1/3 of your full bar. And if you don't have the appropriate meter, the auto block gem will not kick in either. While this might seem like an abusable tactic, if you recognize your opponent is using an auto block gem, you can try baiting out their blocks with select pokes and overheads to deplete their entire meter. The next gem is throw teching, and will automatically tech a throw if you're thrown by your opponent. This isn't nearly as expensive as an auto block gem, as it only costs half of a single bar. But to fight against players using this gem, you can constantly go for throw mix-ups, which will end up leaving them with no meter. Overall, gems play a pretty big role in Street Fighter Cross Tekken. At first, you're not going to notice much of a difference, and the gem system will come into effect sometimes and you'll want to use it accordingly. But other times, if you have specific setups that revolve around using certain gems, as we mentioned with Pandora earlier, there will definitely be strategies players develop over time revolving around certain characters and some unique setups, as we mentioned before, using the gem system.
And that's going to just about wrap up episode 3 of Crossover. Be sure to subscribe and stay tuned, as in the next episode we'll be covering several of the new game modes in Street Fighter Cross Tekken, including co-op tag battle and scramble mode. We'll also talk about team synergy and break down some of the longer and more extensive combos that Street Fighter Cross Tekken has to offer. But as always, I'd like to thank you all very much for watching. This has been Maximilian, and I'll see you next time on Crossover.